Hello, welcome to Anita the Pedagogue channel. Today we want to discuss the poem Telephone Call by Fleur Adcock. And for our lesson content, we are going to discuss the biography of the poet, the title, the structure of the poem, its line-by-line analysis, the literary devices, the themes, and I'll share with you some likely examination questions. Now let's begin with the biography of Fleur Adcock. Poet Fleur Adcock was born in Auckland, New Zealand on 10th February 1934, but spent much of her childhood, including the war years, in England. She studied classics at Victoria University in Wellington and taught at the University of Otago, moving to London in 1963, where she worked as a librarian at the Foreign and Commonwealth Office. She has held various literary fellowships. She has been writing full-time since 1981. Her poetry has received numerous awards, many of them from her native country, New Zealand, and she won a Chumley Award in 1976 and was awarded an OBE in 1996. A collection edition of Fleur Adcock's poetry, Poems from 1960 to 2000, was published in 2000, and she is a regular contributor to, as well as an editor and translator of poetry anthologies. She was awarded the Queen's Medal for Poetry in 2006 and in 2008 was named Companion of the New Zealand Order of Merit for services to literature. Her latest poetry collection is Hoard, published in 2017. Now let's move on to the poem Telephone Call. They asked me, "Are you sitting down?" "Right. This is Universal Lotteries," they said. "You've won the top prize, the Ultra Super Global Special. What would you do with £1 million? Or actually with more than £1 million? Not that it makes a lot of difference once you're a millionaire." And they laughed. "Are you okay?" they asked. "Still there? Come on, now tell us, how does it feel?" I said, I can't believe it." They said, "That's what they all say. What else? Go on, tell us about it." I said, "I feel the top of my head has floated off, out through the window, revolving like a flying saucer." "That's unusual," they said. "Go on." I said, "I'm finding it hard to talk. My throat's gone dry. My nose is tingling. I think I'm going to sneeze or cry." "That's right," they said. "Don't be ashamed of giving way to your emotions. It isn't every day you hear you are going to get £1 million. Relax now, have a little cry. We'll give you a moment." "Hang on," I said. "I haven't bought a lottery ticket for years and years. And what did you say the company is called?" They laughed again. "Not to worry about a ticket. We are Universal. We operate a retrospective chances model. Nearly everyone's bought a ticket in some lottery or another, once at least. We buy up the files, feed the names into our computer, and see who the lucky person is." "Well, that's incredible," I said. "It's marvelous. I still can't quite. I'll believe it when I see the check." "Oh," they said, "there's no check." "But the money? We don't deal in money. Experiences are what we deal in. You've had a great experience, right? Exciting. Something you remember. That's your prize. So congratulations from all of us at Universal. Have a nice day." And the line went dead. This poem is so intense. Let's move on to the structure of the poem. It has 6 stanzas and each is made up of 8 lines, that is an octave. It is a free verse poem with no rhyme scheme due to the spontaneous dialogue. We can describe this poem as a dramatic monologue of a telephone conversation. A dramatic monologue is actually a poem written in a form of a speech or a dialogue. It compresses into a single vivid scene or narrative, giving a history of the speaker and giving insights to his experience. The tone of this poem starts off with some innocence, then excitement, and then to skepticism. The caller's tone is suspicious with a hint of mockery. Now we have a caller, then there is the speaker. So it is the caller or callers who call to speak to the speaker, and the speaker here is the person who wrote down the poem. And for we the readers, there's a lot of suspense, and at the end of the day, the end of the poem gives some sort of disappointment. I don't know, but it doesn't have a happy ending for the speaker. Let's move on now to the title. So the telephone call suggests a spontaneous conversation between two people over the telephone, revealing realism and human reactions. Let's look at the first stanza. From lines 1 to 4, the speaker recounts his telephone experience. The caller first suggests the purpose of the call is serious or unexpected by asking the speaker, "Are you sitting down?" They announce their organization, which is a sort of international or popular gaming industry, that is Universal Lotteries. This foreshadows the purpose of the call, maybe to announce a lottery or a prize that the speaker has won. Using hyperbole, the caller informs the speaker that he has won the top prize, the Ultra Super Global Special. This is definitely an exaggeration of the prize, and makes this announcement dreamlike or unimaginable. It also creates hope for the speaker who is listening anxiously. The caller draws the speaker into believing this prize by asking, "What would you do with £1 million? More than £1 million," emphasizing the huge amount the speaker has won due to the repetition of million. Now there is an error when the caller states the prize to be won. First, the caller says £1 million, then goes on to say more than £1 million. So this error suggests to the readers that the amount the speaker is said to have won may be ingenuine, or there could be some prank in that. Not that it makes a lot of difference once you're a millionaire. Here, lines 7 and 8 suggest that the callers are pranking the speaker definitely. It is also absurd that at the end of the elegant announcements, the callers laugh. At this point, they create doubt in the mind of the speaker. The themes of hope is projected through the announcement of the £1 million, giving hope to the speaker who may not be expecting any huge amount of money, but they've just been informed they've won millions of pounds. And so, to the speaker, they have hope because money is something that humans desire. Let's move on to the second stanza. In the second stanza, the caller seeks the response and composure of the speaker by asking for her reactions. At this point, the speaker expresses disbelief, which the caller validates while asking for more reactions. The speaker's response, which is hyperbolic in lines 14 to 16, express, "I feel the top of my head has floated off out through the window." By using this simile, the speaker compares her head floating and revolving like a flying saucer. This shows the speaker has been affected by this sudden news of becoming a millionaire. The feelings are that of astonishment and perplexity. The theme of illusion versus reality is revealed here. Metaphorically, people have various hidden desires, which when fulfilled leave them in bewilderment. The speaker experiences a surreal moment as she processes the announcements from the callers. This can also be seen as the natural human greed, which has been revealed through this call. Again, the surreal human experience is compared to winning £1 million. Of course, if you were told that you've won £1 million, you would definitely feel like your head is flying through the window like a revolving saucer. Let's move on to stanza 3. The caller encourages the speaker to express more of her feelings using command language. Go on, for example. So the speaker feels disoriented. Physically, they are unable to think straight, and so finding it hard to talk. Her throat suddenly goes dry and their nose tingles. She almost has an emotional breakdown in line 20 when she says, "I think I'm going to sneeze or cry." Here, the vulnerability of humans and their emotions and feelings is stressed or underscored. At this point, the callers urge the speaker to freely express her emotions. Don't be ashamed of giving way to your emotions. The caller shows how legit the speaker's reactions are by repeating £1,000,000, which is enough reason to express all these emotional reactions. In stanza 4, the caller ironically urges the speaker to relax in her disoriented state, but also have a little cry. At this moment, it is obvious the caller wants an outburst of the speaker's emotion for their entertainment, demonstrating their mockery of the speaker. The speaker in line 26 says, "Hang on," showing a transition in contrast from her former reactions, which were her emotional breakdown, but she now says, "Hang on." She indicates she hasn't bought a lottery ticket for years, repeating years to emphasize the impossibility of winning a lottery or any £1,000,000. The callers laugh again to show perhaps it was all a prank when the speaker asks for the name of their company. The callers try to assure the speaker of the validity of her prize by telling her not to worry about not having purchased a lottery ticket. They try to assure the speaker that they are a genuine company. "We are universal. We operate a retrospective chances model." The name and nature of the model may even have increased the doubts of the speaker at this point. Let's move on to stanza 5. The caller's description of the method of selection of the winner reveals how humans rely on chance and luck than working things out to achieve results. This is the reason at some points people engage in lottery with the hope to win big. The callers try to convince the speaker by explaining how they select their winners. The speaker overcomes her emotions now and reveals her doubt when she admits ironically with some positive adjectives that their model is incredible, marvelous, and demands to see a check before she believes the price. So even as she's saying the word incredible and marvelous, she doubts it and at this point knows that this is definitely a prank. In the final stanza, the callers reply to the speaker that there's no check. They emphasize this by saying they don't deal in money, but experiences. The prank of the callers is glaring at this point, but they compare the value of money to experience. They use a lot of rhetorical questions to get the speaker to accept and appreciate the price, which is his experience. You've had a great experience, right? Exciting? Something you remember, as indicated in lines 44 and 45. The caller's actions project the theme, the value of experience. Experiences are usually long-lasting compared to money. The callers congratulate her and hang up. So metaphorically, this poem reveals human fascinations and how their desires are shattered for expecting something they haven't worked for or relying on luck and chance to their disappointment, while experience is much more valuable than financial wealth. At this point, I want us to move on to the literary devices, the language. The speaker makes use of repetition by mentioning millions so many times to emphasize how huge the money the speaker has won, and also believe it has been repeated in line 11 and 40. There's also the use of hyperbole, the ultra super global special in line 4. It also uses some metaphors. I feel the top of my head has floated off out through the window, and the line went dead. So here it represents the death of her desire for the prize. The line went dead. Let's move on to the use of enjambment. There's been a lot of enjambment in this poem. The ideas run on, and it could be because of the conversational nature, so it is spontaneous and the ideas and lines run on. There's also the use of imperative tenses. There are lots of command words like come on, go on, don't be, tell us, relax. There's also the use of caesura, that is a pause in a line, right? This is universal lotteries as we see in line 2. There are also some other use of caesura throughout the poem. Let's move on to alliteration. We don't deal in money. We see that in line 42. There's also the use of ellipsis. An ellipsis has been used 3 times to show that there is some distorted speech or thoughts in the conversation, and this shows how realistic this telephone call is. There's also the use of simile in line 16. Let's move on to the use of irony. We see irony in line 38 and 39. Well, that's incredible. I said it's marvelous. So when you are saying something is incredible and it's marvelous, but you don't believe in it, then why is it incredible and marvelous? So that is the irony or contrast. There's also the use of sarcasm. When the callers tell the speaker that she's won £1 million and they actually say, or actually with more than 1 million. So here they are being sarcastic. And that is where they give themselves away, showing we the readers that this is possibly a prank and not genuine. There's also the use of some personification in lines 35 to 36. We buy up the files, feed the names into our computer. The expression feed the names is where we find our personification. There's also the use of imagery, the description revolving like a flying saucer. My throat's gone dry, my nose is tinkling. We have some sound imagery and some visual imagery and some touch imagery. Now let's move on to the themes. Let's begin with the theme illusion versus reality. Illusion contrasted with reality is portrayed in the poem as the callers, through their prank and mockery, encourage the speaker to tell them about her feelings about the top prize. This leaves the speaker with distorted thoughts using ellipsis in line 11, where the speaker says, I said, I can't believe it. And this demonstrates a state of illusion and hallucination. Again, the speaker's disbelief and astonishment highlights the theme of illusion versus reality. The initial excitement of winning £1 million, demonstrated by the human emotions displayed in line 19 and 20, where the speaker says, my throat's gone dry, my nose is tinkling, I think I'm going to sneeze or cry. At that point, they are in an illusion. And also, I feel the top of my head has floated off through the window, revolving like a flying saucer. All this shows that the speaker is in an illusion and challenges the speaker's perception of what is real and what is fantasy. In contrast, the speaker neglects reality, which is the fact that in line 26 and 27, she admits that I haven't bought a lottery ticket for years and years. So if she hasn't bought a lottery ticket for years and years, which is the reality, why did she get into the illusion where she gave way to her emotions to begin to feel she has won something when in reality she hasn't even bought any tickets? This displays the human nature of being in some sort of illusion when they engage in lottery and games with the hope of winning some free money. The poem's free verse form and conversational nature also emphasize the theme of reality, as the reader appreciates the experience of the speaker as a real telephone dialogue between two people. Let's move on to the theme trickery and manipulation. Adcock, through the various imagery, tone and issues in the poem, demonstrates the trickery and manipulation of the telephone callers. The callers use exaggerations to describe the prize the speaker has won, the ultra super global special. This hyperbolic language demonstrates the callers wanted to make their announcement believable. Again, for a serious announcement that demanded the full attention of the speaker, the continuous laughter of the callers in line 8 and 29 suggests the trickery and false nature of their million prize announcement. The callers manipulate the speaker to reveal her thoughts, feelings, and emotions through caesura and questions in lines 10 and 13. Come on, now tell us, how does it feel? What else? Go on, tell us about it. So here, it is very manipulative. Their manipulation leads to the speaker allowing herself in an illusion and bewilderment for a prize she has doubts about. Again, the callers mock her when they say, relax now, have a little cry in line 25. This pressure of manipulation and trickery causes the speaker to lose hold of the facts That is, I haven't bought a lottery ticket for years and years, just to accept and believe in the callers instead. The revelation of the company's operation for a retrospective chances model suggests a deceptive process which eventually leads the speaker to realize that the company and callers may be dishonest. In line 40, the speaker demands to see a check, but the callers reveal they don't deal in money. Clearly, they tricked the speaker because they compared her winning of the top prize to £1 million. Let's move on to the theme human emotions and disappointment. The speaker's fluctuating emotions from excitement to skepticism to confusion depicts an emotional roller coaster. The use of sensory imagery and the speaker's physical reactions intensify the theme of human turbulent emotions. My throat's gone dry, my nose is tinkling, I think I'm going to sneeze or cry. So these are all human emotions that are being displayed. The news of winning a lottery affect the speaker instantly, leaving her with less time to even process the facts of the issue. This reveals to the reader how vulnerable people can react when they receive exciting news even before verifying it. The theme of disappointment is evident when the speaker demands to see a check before she believes it. The callers suddenly feel disappointed as they exclaim, "Oh, there's no check." Even though this seems ironic, because they emphasize million to symbolize the price for the speaker. The speaker's description of the manner the call ended shows how disappointed she is in line 48, and the line went dead. The word dead shows the hopelessness the call has left the speaker, underscoring the theme of disappointment. Let's look at the theme desire, materialism versus experience. Human desire or materialism is portrayed in the poem when the speaker, without buying a lottery ticket, suddenly becomes excited about winning a lottery, leading her to hallucinate. When the callers ask, "What would you do with £1 million?" the speaker's either desire for money or greed takes over her mind. She begins to envisage having £1 million and becomes emotional. Human desire for money is juxtaposed with human experience, when at the end the callers ironically shift the initial money price to a realization that experiences and emotions, not money, are the true prices offered by the company. But the money, we don't deal in money. Experiences are what we deal in. This leads the reader to realize that the callers seek to give the speaker a memorable or lifetime experience and not money. This emphasizes that human experiences are more valuable than material wealth such as money. The moments of joys and heartfelt emotions of humans are more treasured than money. Let's go on to the likely examination questions. How does the structure of the poem as a dialogue contribute to the reader's understanding of the speaker's experience during the telephone call? Explore the use of imagery in the poem, focusing on specific examples like revolving like a flying saucer and my throat's gone dry, my nose is tinkling. How do these images contribute to the overall tone and meaning of the poem? How does the theme of illusion versus reality manifest in the speaker's reactions to winning the prize and the subsequent revelations about the lottery company's operations? Analyze the shifts in the speaker's emotions from excitement to skepticism to confusion. Discuss the theme of deception and manipulation in the poem, particularly in the context of the lottery company's tactics and the speaker's realization about the nature of the prize. Explore the theme of wealth and materialism in the poem. How does the conversation about winning £1 million evolve throughout the phone call, and what insights does it offer into the speaker's values and beliefs? How does the absence of a tangible reward like a check challenge traditional notions of wealth and success? Analyze the significance of the company's focus on experiences as the prize. Now this brings us to the end of our lesson on the telephone call analysis. Do like, share, comment and subscribe to this channel. Until I come your way again, keep learning and be the best version of yourself.